and welcome to Whatcha Reading. I am your host. My name is Brenna, and I am the advisory supervisor here at the Skokie Public Library. Today, I am joined by Grace. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Grace. I'm a collections development librarian here at the Skokie Public Library.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show.
Of course.
So as always, we'll talk about 3 books each. We'll say what we have read, what we're reading now, and what we're reading next. So Grace, would you like to start by telling us what you have read recently?
Yes. So the book that I read recently is a graphic novel. It's an adult graphic novel called The Demon of Beausoleil by Costa. This is set in Victorian times where a young baby is born having been touched by a demon. He is accepted by his family, but grows up very much a lot, I would say, of self-hatred. And as he turns into a teen, as he turns into a young adult, he combines his connection with demonology and becomes kind of an exorcist. Oh. And so, right, he sounds amazing, right? He sounds like a real dude. And his name is Helianthes, Hell for short.
Your pronunciation has been amazing. These are some, just the name of the book.
I practiced.
I can tell.
He's also a bit of a cad in that very Victorian, rakish sort of way, and he has a bad reputation. He chases away all of the bodyguards he ever has, except for this one kind of big, brawny, silent, strong type, whose name is Elias. And I would say a little romance starts to bloom there, right? So this is a queer love story set in Victorian London with ghosts and demons. There's definitely some spice, so I'd say that this is an adult graphic novel. But it's for someone who likes a heartstopper sort of thing, but with a real bite, because demons.
Heartstopper with demons.
With demons. This is, I loved it. I really loved it. And at the very end, if anyone is into webtoons or anything like that, you'll be familiar with this. They'll take some snippets of stuff that they have published online but haven't put in the book and put it in the back of it. So you get to see some after story things that just warm your heart too. So yeah, there's a good opportunity to become a real fan.
Can we see some illustrations?
Of course you can. I need to find one that's not scandalous. The illustrations are not black and white, but they're not big and bright and bold. But this was Victorian London, right? We got smoke, we got mist.
Yeah,
and
the colors fit with that theme.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of good bright reds too, which you would expect as well.
Yeah.
With demons. So that is The Demon of Beausoleil.
Awesome.
And what have you been reading? What did you read that you loved?
I finished Good People by Patmeena Sabit. Which I know this is a physical, a print book, but for our audiobook listeners, this is so good on audio. So the story is we've got the Sara family, and they came to the U.S. as refugees. And the father of the family has become very successful in business. So they have all the trappings of the American dream, quote unquote. So they've got nice cars, big house, living in a great neighborhood. And then this incident happens and everything kind of starts to unravel. And I won't say what it is because no spoilers here. No. But the way the book is set up is so fascinating because it's a set of interviews just with people who knew the Sara family. So, neighbors, friends, the kids' teachers from school, law enforcement, lawyers, all these people that are involved in the story. And so when you listen to the audio, it's a full cast, and it's almost like listening to a true crime podcast because you'll have one person say this and someone says this, and you're like, those don't quite match up, and you're seeing some biases or maybe people are lying and that kind of thing. So you're kind of unraveling the story as you listen and making your own decisions based on what you're hearing from the different testimonies that you hear. And for those that are in a book club, it's really good for discussion as well. As I said, the American dream, quote unquote. You've got what life is like for a Muslim in America, what life is like for women and young girls. There's racism, prejudice, all these things the family is experiencing. So there's a lot to think about, a lot to discuss. Just a really fascinating story.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So as someone who, I can't do audiobooks, they're just not my bag, but I love podcasts. I love like the true crime podcast. Would you say that this was a good book that might be for someone who wouldn't even consider themselves an audiobook
this could be
listener?
a good crossover to try. Also, I mean, I'm sure that it's excellent reading the print as well. You don't have to listen to the audio, but it does make for a really unique listening experience. I would not be surprised if this won a lot of audio awards because it's so well done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, fantastic.
So what are you reading now?
So what I'm reading now is called The Thorn Queen by Sasha Peyton Smith. This is actually the sequel to The Rose Bargain.
Double books.
I know,
Right.
double books. And I tried to get the kind of finished copy for you, but I only have the ARC, which I got in February of 2025, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. So when the sequel came out, I had been on hold for it for ages. It's so fantastic.
And for those who aren't in the know, an ARC is an advanced reader's copy.
Indeed.
Librarians are very lucky sometimes we get copies of books before they get published.
We absolutely do. And if we love them enough, we keep them forever, as I have. So instead of kind of talking about, this would just be full of spoilers, but just know that the sequel is out. And if you want to start the series with The Rose Bargain, this is a book that's set in, again, London. I'm very big into period dramas and also fantasy. So recurring theme. This is if like Sarah J. Maas met Jane Austen. Because we have that high society, we have the women going out, finding their husbands, but the twist is that London has been, had a fae queen for hundreds of years. And what she does is she gives every eligible woman a bargain. It can be, I would like to have the most beautiful face. I would like to be able to tell when someone is lying. I want to be rich, right? And that's the kind of bargain that she gives them. And every woman, when they've come of age and they go out to find their husband, they get that bargain. Now, our main protagonist, Ivy, doesn't want one because her sister is sick. She has been sick for ages, and she knows for a fact that fairies are to blame for that. So she doesn't trust it. All she wants to do is to get her sister back, right? Now, for her season, the queen wants to find a bride for her son, Bram, who is also a fairy. Ivy decides to enter the competition, and the motive is to save her sister. Things become a little bit twisty. What does it mean to be a woman in those times? What could the competitions be? They get very dark. Fairies are very tricksy. If anyone has read anything about fairies, they don't like to make things easy, and they certainly like to make things fun for themselves, much to the expense of humans. So this is a marriage competition. This is a fairy tale. We have a love triangle. This isn't a spicy book. This is a young adult book. So this is perfect for teens. I'd say it's even perfect for folks who are in their 6th, their 7th, and their 8th grades. I'm an adult. I ate it up. The sequel that I'm reading right now, it's
good.
Even better. You know, when it's a duology, you sometimes worry. You're like, how are they going to wrap it up? But the journey is really satisfying.
Awesome.
Yeah. And what about you?
So right now, I am reading Where the Wildflowers Grow by Terah Shelton Harris. And I just like to take a moment to appreciate how beautiful this cover
Love
is.
that cover.
I know that we're not supposed to judge a book by a cover, but sometimes I do, and I'm glad I did in this case
all
because
the time.
Beautiful cover, beautiful book. So this is a book about a woman named Lee, and it starts off, there's just like so much excitement. I was drawn in right away. So she is in prison, and she's on a transport bus, and the bus crashes. She's the only survivor. And now she has this kind of new lease on life because nobody knows that she's the only survivor. We don't find out why she was in prison till later on in the story. But she starts kind of traveling from town to town. She's taking odd jobs, laying low, and she ends up on a flower farm, which is why we've got all these beautiful flowers on the cover. And everyone who's working on this farm also has kind of a difficult backstory, and they're just this beautiful community of people who are working through their stuff, and they're kind and they're generous. And so Lee starts to unravel all the things that have happened in her past, which have been very difficult. And the owner of the flower farm, his name is Jackson. This is where the little bit of romance comes in. So they start to fall in love, but Lee needs to do this work on herself and figuring things out before she can really commit to a romance. So as always, her past catches up with her. She's got to deal with that. But if you like a book with really well-written, likable characters and a little bit of romance, and just, I know there's a lot of serious stuff that happens in the book, but I would ultimately say that it's very hopeful. So if you like that, you might enjoy it. So yeah, that's Where the Wildflowers Grow.
That sounds beautiful. It also sounds like it might make me cry.
A little bit, it might, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, keep the tissues ready.
I do like to cry in a book, if I'm honest.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah.
So what about you? What are you reading next?
So the next book I'm reading, it just hit the youth space last week. I saw it come down in a cart and I immediately grabbed it. It's Through the Black Gate. Now this is a Chilean author. His name is Alfredo Cáceres, I believe. And it is set in Chile. There is a little bit of magic in this one too, but this one is not about love. The other two, I have romance. This is about grief, and this is about adventure. And there's a young girl. Her name is Irene, and her parents died in what she believes to be a fire, what everyone has told her to be a fire. And the only thing that was left is her cat, Moses. And Moses, she begins to strongly suspect that Moses has the soul of her father. And so she's convinced that the soul of her dad has been left behind and is trying really hard to join the soul of her mother. Now, she meets a young boy named Francis, who is this incredible talent on the guitar. And whenever he plays, Moses glows. And one time he's playing, and Moses runs away to the wreckage of the house, right? That has burned down. It opens, this portal opens, and they get pulled through. And it turns out that they're in this middle place between life and death, and where spirits go. And so these two kids and their cat have to find a way through, either out again or all the way. There's monsters, there are really kind creatures. This is great for someone who might like, I don't know if this is going to date me, but it had little bits of Labyrinth in it. The movie starring David Bowie.
My favorite movie of all time.
All right,
and
fantastic.
Also, as a cat lady, I am totally sold on this.
I mean, Moses is a character. He's not just a cat, right? You begin to love Moses, and he has his own personality. So it's an adventure. But like I said, going back to the very beginning, this is also a story about grief and loss and love. And I talk about how I do like to cry in a book. This definitely made me cry.
Like it, yeah.
It's beautiful. The illustrations are lovely. You can see just this one here. There are creatures that remind me almost of Studio Ghibli. And it's a lovely, beautiful, surreal, and hopeful story. And it's a graphic novel. Again, this is, I love graphic novels. I buy them in the youth space. And I think that they are such an amazing, they are a book in itself. Graphic novels count as books and they're reading. But also logistically, they're also great for kiddos who might want that bridge in between, but are able to handle and accept more mature themes. like this.
That sounds awesome. Did you say this is adult or teen or maybe both?
This is middle grade, actually. I would spot this middle grade, even younger. So this is on a shelf that if someone was in 3rd or 2nd grade and picked it up, I'd be like, very cool, good for you. But I'd say that reading-wise, it's great for the middle graders.
Okay.
Yeah.
But as you said earlier, I read those kind of books as an adult.
I do too.
I loved it. Yeah.
I do too. So, and what about you? What's next on your list?
Next on my list is Mother Tongue by Sara Nović. And shout out to Romana and Amy, who have both been guests on the show, who both recommended this book. I'm very excited to read it.
They'll be happy to hear that you took their recommendation.
Yes. So have you read True Biz, Grace? For our folks watching at home, True Biz is such an amazing book. It was this author's previous novel, and it's about a group of deaf students at a school for the deaf. It's so amazing for teens and adults, so if you haven't read it, go read that.
Okay.
But I was very excited to see this memoir come out by the same author because she's just so fantastic. So this book is kind of about 2 major themes. So first of all, she talks about her experience of going deaf, which happened kind of slowly over several years when she was a teen into early adulthood. Mm-hmm. And she talks about how she kind of tried to just adjust her life around it, but ended up feeling very isolated from her peers and other folks because she wasn't able to communicate in the way that she needed to. Mm-hmm. And then she has the opportunity to learn ASL, and it just completely changes her life. And then the other part of the book is about parenthood. So she is the parent of 2 children, 1 biological, 1 adopted. So a lot of it is about her experience adopting this deaf boy from Thailand. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of interesting, just like what it's like for her as a disabled person to navigate the school systems and the medical systems and how difficult that is. Mm-hmm. And I think the best memoirs really put you in someone's shoes to, try and understand what their life experiences have been like.
Absolutely.
And she's really, from what my recommenders have told me, she's really fantastic at doing that. So yeah, this is Mother Tongue by Sara Nović.
Fantastic. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Grace, thank you so much for joining us today.
It was my pleasure. I love to do it. Come, I will bring next time not so magic-centric books, but I think we need a bit of magic nowadays.
You should bring what you are into, so that's great.
Thank you.
So for those who are watching, please let us know in the notes if you've read these books, if you want to, what you think about them. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.